How did I know that someday, somewhere, anywhere, the bell jar with its stifling distortions wouldn't descend again? I am 2 years away from my bell jar, yet the fear of it finding its way back to me lingers. When I'm living in my dream city with my best friend, laughing about something illogical, I beg my bell jar to not descend again. I talk to my bell jar and I forget where I am, who I am. I am all the dreams that I dare to say. But that's where it gets a little more complicated. Do I dare? Do I deserve to dare? Who even am I? How do I trust my word when everything in my life is just falling apart? And it's clearly because of me, because I am in charge of my own life, the good, the bad, the unpredictable. And if I did, I let it fall apart. And if I did let it fall apart, am I even capable of fixing it? And if I am capable of fixing it, why haven't I fixed it already? Am I lazy, stupid, or both? Let's look at some facts, shall we? Scenario 1. I'm in 9th grade and I'm supposed to choose my future. At the age of 13, I'm supposed to know what my future should look like professionally. I chose doctor. It was one of those buzzwords. In my defense, a lack of options isn't free will. Consequence. I'm locked with my fate in a room full of despair and a lack of trust in myself. Could be that I'm just dumb or whatever, but the plan was 2 years. Yet, the 2 years became 5 years and I met depression. There was a time when days became a blur and everything was the same as today as yesterday. And there was no sign of a better life, no sign of tomorrow that could be truly its own thing. And not the same today that I was living for 5 years. For 5 years, I was desperately making a mental note of everything that could get me out of it. And none of it ended with me being alive. I turned to coping mechanisms that ruined my mind and my skin. My internal monologue became monotonous and repetitive. I did try, I tried to do what was expected out of me, what I expected out of me. I would sit at my study table trying to go over the same text over and over, just trying to memorize something, anything, but I couldn't. I couldn't seem to think over the loud death sentence that my mind had subjected me to. Death was easier than remembering the simple harmonic motion of an object. How fucking embarrassing. I wasn't dumb. I just wasn't okay. And I did try, to not exist. Didn't work out. Story of my fucking life, I guess. There was darkness, sure, but I dreamt. Nothing big, nothing small. Just dreams big enough to keep me going, but not big enough to suck the fucking life out of me. I dreamt of visiting my online friends 500 kilometers away from my hometown. Now, let me just remind you that not only am I desi, but I'm also a female person. So the odds were stacked against me. But thanks to my parents' emotional makeover that happened because of spirituality, believe it or not, they let me go all alone to taste something that I would never be able to leave behind. After all that hopelessness, all that darkness, I made it. I was living with my best friend in my dream city with a good, stable job and a boy that was straight out of my impossible delusions of that ex-insecure girl. I mean, partial ex-insecure girl, I think. Yeah, I lost the job. I was devastated. Still am. That was some blessed by the heavens type of shit I was on. Adulting being so hopeless hadn't hit me yet. Up until now, I still go through mental breakdowns because of how lost I am. And how there's a possibility that I may never find a job, a stable job, or stable happiness, or desire to dream even, because I don't trust myself. Let's unpack that. Remember when I was like super depressed? Yeah, I got into manifestation, like blood spells and shit. And I was in a toxic situationship. My coping mechanism was going on walks every evening and playing Roaring Twenties by Panic at the Disco and closing my eyes and imagining my dream life with no hope for it ever occurring for me because it was just that hopeless of a situation, but I did it regardless. I imagined myself spending my 20th birthday in Delhi with my online friends, in a club preferably. I would imagine, despite any logical explanation of how that would actually happen, because I had no way of making that happen for myself. So I just kept imagining, kept closing my eyes and hoping. And in my manifestation era's defense, it did happen. Everything I imagined happened exactly the way I imagined it. I was in Delhi on my 20th birthday with my online friends, and we didn't get into the club. We were outside and I was flirting with the bouncer to get in because I thought that would work, but it didn't. So we were outside the whole night. It was fun. Now, sure, it wasn't all magic. Like, I do believe in magic, but I had to put in work, I had to still apply for those shitty unpaid internships and those exploitative internships and earn like 5K a month, which is like barely anything. But sometimes it's hard to imagine that I am the person who did all of that, Like, I'm so separated from somebody who has the capability to do the stuff to get the dream life that I don't identify myself as somebody who got the dream life. Maybe this video is a reminder to myself and to you that we're all capable of reaching our potential, especially when we have data to prove that shit. And I don't claim to be a manifestation guru or an inspirational guru for that matter, despite clearly being one. But I did have a job before, and I will get a job again, I think. I hope. Fuck this shit, I don't wanna be that girl anymore.